Did you know that burnout among leaders is increasing every day? Burnout among leaders happens because we as leaders, we overwork ourselves. Let me start by telling you what burnout is. Burnout is emotional exhaustion. It is a depersonalization. It is a reduced sense of accomplishment. Burnout comes because we do too much at the same time. One of the things that we have to do as leaders is learn how to say no. No is a complete sentence. It means the same thing no matter where we are in the world. One of the things about burnout, it comes to those of us who are considered high achievers. What do we do or experience as high achievers? We experience functional burnout. We experience high functioning anxiety. Yeah, those of us who are type A personalities, yeah, we experience high functioning anxiety. And we experience performance-based identity. What do you mean by that? Performance-based identity is when we are totally caught up in the titles we have built for ourselves. We don't know who we are outside of our titles. One of the things to avoid burnout is to strive to be a success rather than our value. We strive to be what's considered a success versus looking at our value and our impact. We should be concentrating on our impact instead of what society considers success. Why do high functioning leaders burn out? That's those of us that are, um, top tier leadership in ministry, executives on our jobs, um, parents, you name it, whatever leadership you consider high functioning. One of the reasons, or some of the reasons that we burn out are identity fusion, over responsibility syndrome. What does that mean? Over responsibility syndrome means that we take responsibility for those things that don't belong to us. We take responsibility for other people's issues. We take responsibility for other people's problems. And as leaders, we are leading others, but we also have to know how to be good managers of our own lives, how to be productive, how to serve in excellence, how to lead in excellence without causing burnout for ourselves. We have what we consider the savior complex. Some of us call it the Messiah complex, where we think we can be all to all. There's only one that can do that, and it's not us. It's Jesus Christ, right? It's only one that's omnipresent. It's only one that's omnipotent, and it's not us. It's Jesus Christ. So guess what? You can't save everybody. You can't fix everything. And it's okay to say that I can't do it. It's okay to say I don't have the answers. Listen, it doesn't make you a bad person if you don't have the answers to everybody's situation. Some situations we have to refer people, refer them out. Some things we refer them to Jesus Christ. That always works, right? But if you want to make a referral in the flesh, we have to refer them out. Refer them to their pastors. Refer them to a therapist. Refer them to a doctor. We can't fix it all, okay? Lack of emotional processing is another reason why high functioning leaders burn out, because we don't allow ourselves to process our emotions. We don't allow ourselves to go through what it is that we're going through. We don't allow ourselves to say, I'm hurting. My feelings are hurt. I'm grieving, I don't feel well. We don't allow ourselves to do that. So it causes burnout because we're always trying to be the strong one. We're always trying to be the one that everybody looks to for the example. And my question to you today is, when did God appoint you as the example for everybody? Think about that. Who told you that you had to be the strong one all the time? Who told you that you had to be the identified go-to person? Who told you that you had to be the identified strong one? Think about that for a moment. Another reason why we burn out as high functioning leaders is addiction to success. At what point do you say, I have accomplished my goal? I'm resting, I'm being content in where I am, and I'm going to allow somebody else an opportunity, right? Now, the people who are very driven like myself, we are always thinking of things we can do. We're always thinking of opportunities. We're always thinking of ways that we can create wealth. And there's nothing wrong with that. But one of the reasons we burn out, there's only 7 days in a week. That's it. I don't know. Sometimes I would ask people as I was doing exercises, either in ministry or counseling, and I would say, look in the mirror. And, of course, everybody would look in the mirror, and I would say, how many people do you see? And they would say 1. And I said, okay, think of the things that one person can accomplish. Unless you see 2, 3, 4 people, 4 of you, it's only but so much you can do. So when we get that and we understand that, we can avoid some of the burnout. Okay. One of the things that we do that causes us burnout is we say, well, I have to do it in an excellent way, or I have to be perfect. Well, let me say this to you. There is none perfect. Not one of us. There's nobody on earth that's perfect. And imperfect people produce imperfect outcomes. Imperfect people produce imperfect uh, situations, okay? We cannot produce perfection when we're not perfect. So we have goals, unrealistic goals for ourselves. We have unachievable goals for ourselves because perfection will never happen because guess what? We are imperfect people. When we're striving for perfection, it says that we have a fear. It can say that we have a fear of failure. And I was doing a workshop a little while ago, and one of the things that I said to the audience is, we are no stranger at failing. We're no stranger at not succeeding the first time. How do you know? You want me to prove it to you? When we were all babies and we were learning to walk, the first time we got up, we didn't just walk and then run. We were wobbly. We fell down. We tripped over our own feet. We had people in the background cheering for us and rooting us on, but it took a little bit for us to get the hang of it, to balance ourselves, to be able to walk on our own, to be able to move about. Now, once we got the hang of it and we were secure in our balance and our walking, then we went into running. But before it got there, guess what? We failed a couple times. We fell down. There's no so we're no stranger to this process of falling down, failure, if you will. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. Yeah, practice makes perfect. Um, One of the things, or three, let me say 3 things that keeps us from leading in an excellent way is the imposter syndrome. So now here we go. We spend years trying to get the seat at the table, if you will. We spend years trying to prove that we are worthy. We spend years trying to prove that we belong at the table. And then when we get there, what happens? We have what's called the imposter syndrome. Now we're saying, we're giving all the reasons why we shouldn't be there. We're giving all the reasons why it should be our friends or our co-workers or a parent or a sibling. We're giving all the reasons why it shouldn't be us. But guess what? If you made it to the table, you deserve to be at the table. You worked to be at the table. So we have to stop with this imposter syndrome where, once we have reached our point of success, now we are talking about or trying to look at all the reasons why it shouldn't be. Another thing that prevents us from being great leaders is, we all know, social media. Comparison is one of the biggest dream busters out there. We compare ourselves to others. We compare ourselves to what we see on social media. We're constantly comparing ourselves to the next person. And I often tell, especially because I'm a parent of young adults, I tell them all the time, do not compare yourself with what you see on social media. Because social media is the one place that people can live a dream. People can live what they want their life to be, but they're not showing what their life really is. And that's okay, because they don't have to put all their business out for the public to see. But the point of the matter is, we can't get caught up in comparing what we see or what we see others, because we don't know the backstory. So, we might see somebody that's 21 or 22 and they bought this fabulous home. Well, we don't know the backstory. We don't know if they inherited the money. We don't know if they won the lottery. We don't know if, maybe they won a cake. We don't know. So to say, oh, well, at 21, I should have that. No, not necessarily. Now, it's nice if you do, but that doesn't mean that you have failed if you don't, because we don't know the backstory. We don't know what a person had to go through. We don't know the life that they live. Many times I say people will look at my now, but they don't know the struggle. They don't know the many days that I was building a business from the bedside. They don't know. They weren't there when I had a heart attack. They weren't there when I had to start learning how to walk again. So they don't know. Where I am now, it took 30 years plus to build. Where I am in my field, it took 30 years plus to build. So I didn't start out uh, being one of the top therapists. I didn't start out having books. I didn't start out having the only or the first mental health urgent care center. That's not how I started. I had humble beginnings. I graduated college, and my first job was in a mother-baby drug and alcohol program. So I had to climb. I had to make some career moves. I had to study. I had to go back and get several more degrees. So when you look at my now, you don't know what it took to get here. So don't compare yourself. Um, One of the hindrance that we have as leaders is, again, I mentioned this earlier, thinking we got to be the strong one. We don't always have to be the strong one. And my question is, who told you that? Who told you that you had to be the strong one all the time? Where did you get that from? A lot of times when I ask that question, the answer I receive is, nobody told me that. I told myself that. Well, I'm telling you, you can say you heard it here on Healing Conversations with Dr. K, and Dr. K herself said it. You do not have to be the strong one. That is not a badge of honor. Okay. Now, it may feel honorable that people value your opinion, that they value you as being a problem solver. They see you as somebody they can come and confide in. Yes, that is honorable, but it is not a badge of honor to be the person that everybody comes to while you are not taking care of yourself. I want to just put this here. Self-care is not selfish. So as a strong leader, know when you have to take care of yourself. Know when you have to put that mask on yourself first. Know when you have to take a chance on you. And sometimes as you are working on you, that means that everybody else is on the sideline. Okay. One of the things I want to talk about today, and I want to encourage you now that we are on our self-care, part of self-care is having strong boundaries. Now, I understand people don't like boundaries, and that's okay. We don't have everything that's good for us is not is not likable, if you will. If you if, if you are in my era, in my age bracket, you remember when mom would give you cod liver oil. Your mom would give you cod liver oil and send you on your way to school. That was the nastiest stuff. It was nasty. Okay, it was straight nasty. But guess what? It was good for you. My mother used to say it lubricates your inside, right? So your lungs, your bronchial tubes and all of that. So they would send us to school. They would send us out every morning with a teaspoonful of cod liver oil, and it was horrible, but it was good for us. So when it comes to boundaries, boundaries are something that we don't necessarily like setting them, and the people that we set them for don't like us having them. But boundaries will save your life. Boundaries will help you to put things in perspective. What are considered boundaries? Office hours, having that time set aside where people can come and talk to you, and outside of that window of time is your time, whether it be with your family, whether it be to do something else, whether it be to uh, perfect your craft, whatever. Outside of your boundary, outside of your window of time that you have set, you're not taking phone calls from, in my case, clients. Okay. Um, so setting office hours. I said it earlier, learning the word no. No, the word no will save your life. I promise you it will. And a lot of times we think it's kind of hard or it's kind of cool because we want to be available when people come knocking on the door. And no, because people will catastrophize things in their lives and they want it to become an emergency in ours. Or maybe you've given some advice and a person chose not to follow the advice, and that's their choice. They don't have to follow it. But now, if it doesn't work out the way they wanted it to work out, now they come back, and who they want to clean it up? You. And you have an opportunity, you have a right to say no. I say this all the time. Everybody has choices. Everybody has a right to make choices. And so people can choose, individuals that you are leading, if you advise, they can choose not to listen. They don't have to. But then I can choose not to clean it up if it doesn't go the way they expect it to go. Now, it doesn't mean that if I advise and they don't listen, it won't work out. It absolutely may. But if it doesn't, then I can say, no, I don't want to fix that. And that's my choice. Okay. So as leaders, as strong leaders, to avoid burnout, we want to have boundaries. We want to learn the word no. We want to know when to shut it down. We can't work 24 hours a day. So when is a good shutdown time? I'm talking shut it down from everything. Okay. We want to learn how to do self-care. I mentioned this earlier as well. We want to learn how to do self-care. Self-care is essential. It is not an option. It's essential, right? We want to do wellness check-ins. Now, this is something we don't hear often, but I say it because it's important. We want to do wellness check-ins. Just like we have to go to the doctor for our physicals, our annual physicals, we want to do regular wellness check-ins for emotional purposes. Okay? Um, are we able to emotionally regulate? Are we able to identify when we may be struggling? So we want to do all of those things. And as leaders, it's okay, right? We don't have to, leading just means that you have a following. Leading means that there's a group of people that follow you. And as they are following you, guess what? They don't want the broken down version of you. They want you at your best. They want you at your premium. They want you, they want the best possible version of you. And so in order to present the best possible version of you, you have to take care of yourself. Being a strong leader is knowing when to ask for help. A lot of times we don't want to ask for help, but we have to ask for help. Delegation. We have to delegate. I say this all the time. Delegation is hard. It's hard for me because I want it done when I want it done. I want it done how I want it done. And I know that if I do it, it's going to be done right, according to my standards. I'll say that, right? But I'm learning that I have to delegate. Why? Because I only have two hands, right? I only have two arms. And so that means I can only do what my two hands and my two arms allow me to do. And so when God gives vision, when we are building, it's bigger than just us. And so we have to delegate some stuff. Now, the person that we delegated to, they may be a little bit slower than us. They may do it different than what you had intended. And that's okay. If they do it different, as long as they accomplish the goal, it's okay. And I had to remind myself that on a regular basis. So I'm not just saying this to you. Okay? We have to embrace the way that other people do things. Our way is not always, is not the only right way. I'll say it like that. Okay? So as strong leaders, we have to learn to delegate. Okay? And so we can definitely lead in an excellent manner with not and not be burnt out. We can lead in an excellent manner and not be exhausted at the end. We can lead in an excellent manner and still take time out for us. We can lead in an excellent manner and put the mask on ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in to Healing Conversations with Dr. K. I hope this episode has given you some pointers and some things that you can take and implement in your everyday life. I am Dr. K. I am the founder and CEO of the first mental health urgent care center in the Mid-Atlantic region. Our practice is called Find Your Way Services, LLC. My daughter is the executive director, Kayla Everett. And you can reach us on our website at www.findingyourwaynow.com, www.findingyourwaynow.com, or you can call us at 835-227-1334, 835-227-1334. If you would like to make a donation to help keep Healing Conversations with Dr. K alive and to help us to continue making an impact in the field of mental health, you may do so at MH Medic 1, MH Medic 1, that's the Cash App, MH Medic 1. You can Zelle at 267-269-1399. Thank you so much, and we will see you at the next episode of Healing Conversations with Dr. K. Have an amazing day. God bless.